Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Nier Reincarnation, I poked my head into Reddit. This was risky, because I want to stay off of it because of spoilers, but thankfully there were no spoilers that I saw anyway. There is the next Abyssal Hatcher coming. It might be the last one, so it's not hard to guess who it's going to be. And it'll be interesting. We're going to go on a tangent here. What they're going to do with the Abyssal characters. If they will continue with the Sun and Moon characters, or if they will just end it here. And then it'll also be interesting to see if they buff the Abyssal characters at all. If they get rid of their demerit. I see a lot of JP chatter about this, you know, hoping for it or expecting it. I'm not expecting anything, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. And then I will pull in my new JP account. But anyway, we have the new Stage 5 difficulty for Subjugations, and I was wondering what the kind of the global community reaction to it was. And then I found this thread, which brings up some interesting points, so I thought I would go through and then react to it. And then I'm going to cut out the names, just for privacy's sake. I know that global players don't care as much about that, but yeah. Alright, everyone was in agreement that in order to save Subjugations, they needed to provide new incentives for the community to play the mode again. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel the most motivation to play the mode ever since, I guess, the addition of Stage 4, or since the addition of the Blackhorn weapons. The problem is, for 90% of the community, these rewards will not be obtainable, so I fail to see where the incentive is to play. I would say, if we're talking about the upgrades to the Blackhorn weapons, I would say it's above 95% that can't get them. But then we can also talk about like how good those rewards are. It's just the things to take the Blackhorn weapons to level 100. For one thing, there's a lot of people that don't care about PvP. For another thing, there's a lot of people that don't need those upgrades in order to do well in Arena, or to do whatever their goal is. I actually think that the rewards aren't great, but it is something to aim for, so that does give me a little bit of motivation to play. It's more about kind of figuring out the system, and then seeing how well you can do, and then especially with my free-to-play account to see how far I can get with that. That's kind of providing the most of the motivation for me anyways. Okay, next paragraph. Let's put this new reward system into perspective for the 10% of players, mainly pay-to-win. Again, I think 10% is way too high of a guess for who can break the SSS plus threshold. And then pay-to-win. I also have a qualm with this term, because whenever somebody says pay-to-win, I always ask, win what? Because we look at, like, you know, high ranking for Arena, for example, there are no unique rewards in there. It's just, what, Lavender Cube pieces and pull tickets, you know? That's all stuff available through other ways in the game, so yeah. Pay to play, I would say, rather than pay to win. Alright, and then they go through some calculations. We'll skip that, because I don't care. Says it's stingy. Again, it's fine, because the rewards aren't that great. And they say developers aren't planning to do another Subjugation for at least another year. I would agree with that, but I think they have a negative take on it. I would have a positive take on it. I feel like they really extended the life of the mode, which is actually encouraging, because I think that also hints at extending the life of the game itself. Leading up to a second anniversary, I was wondering about the future of the game, but yeah, this addition to the Subjugations is a good sign. If they did the thing where, like, they release an all-new boss, you know, with all new rewards, that would be, you know, amazing. That would also be a great guarantee for future life of the game. But feels pretty good to get the upgrade to the, what is it, Deer in current Subjugations. Let's see, level 5 is over-tweaked. Previous strategies don't work. Well, that's a good thing. We don't want the same old, same old. Boss damage is too high. With full level 90 team with max slabs, wave 2 is going to destroy you. Unless you sacrifice whatever. If you want to figure out how to skip that big AoE attack in Wave 2. You can watch my video about the single knockdown method. Paying to have your team fully awakened would give you the necessary survival as well. I don't know if it would. It might be more important to get the weapons and the memoirs. Let's see, the 1 week score Twitter contest is a test to see if they got the difficulty right. I don't think there's any relation between the two. I actually think it's bad timing to put the contest at the same time as this new mode. Just another step in the direction of aggressive monetization, where the best PvP rewards are only available for money. But again, how many people care about Arena? And aggressive monetization, I don't know. I've seen many, many other games that are much more greedy than Nier Reincarnation. This is actually one of the more friendly games towards free-to-play users. Just through like the game mechanics, you know, but also just like kind of the attitude of the developers. I don't get a sense that they're pushing us at all. And then they list some fixes to the mode. It's not going to happen, so I don't think we even need to read these. But they do suggest adding the rainbow coins to the lower levels. They might add that in the future, but yeah, they do want people to aim for the higher scores, so at first they won't give that out. And then a possible exchange for purple coins using gold coins. Maybe. But the exchange rate has always been very bad, going up with the coins, so yeah, even if it does come, I don't know how useful it would be. Okay, let's get into some of the responses. Let's see, this person says, doesn't like Wave 2, where the boss nukes you. Again, if you want to skip that, you can watch my video. But then they take a positive turn. Enjoying the breath of fresh air, me too. Experimenting new strats, tweaking a lot. Yes, that is the point of the mode. And yeah, they actually got some good scores there, so good. Let's see, this person saw a SSS plus 9 score on Twitter. The devs tuned it exactly where they want it. Yeah, the JP community, they're also kind of like shocked at the jump in difficulty level. But there are people that are figuring it out. And I think it is more about figuring it out rather than releasing a bunch of strong stuff in the near future to power creep it. They've recently added a bunch of stuff to upgrade things anyways, like the fragments, and then now the level 100 level cap break, so I think working on all that stuff will get us there. And then also just refining the technique, which is my weak point. Let's see, take some work to wrap your head around the new strategies needed. Yeah, that's basically what I just said. You need better Berserk and Seafaring Tales memoirs. Yeah, those are new ones, so we need to do some farming there. There were the memoirs which give you the limited time attack up, but that can now be cancelled by the Wave 3, so we need to get the permanent attack up from Seafaring Tales. Extra passive on subjugation weapons is pretty marginal, I agree about that. And actually, now that I think about it, my main attacking teams, they don't use any Blackhorn weapons. Some of my defense teams do use them, but yeah, I really don't need the upgrades. Whales are already getting more out of spending on a shiny new weapon than a few extra stats and 20% pursuit. Yeah, I think I agree with that. But also consider that you can get SSS plus 1 on Quest 4 right now. Yeah, that's also possible, so if you don't want to deal with Quest 5, you can still get the rainbow coins. Alright, we're seeing some level-headed people here. That's cool. Here, not meant to be beaten by day 1 endgame players. It's a long-term goal that people will get eventually, yes. There's inevitable power creep characters coming. They'll also get the new character subjugation bonuses. I wonder how much stronger the newer characters are going to be. Again, I think it's more about the new character upgrade systems, and then figuring out the system. But we'll see, we'll see. There was already a great jump with, like, Christmas Griff, New Year's Yuri, people like that, so I don't know how much stronger they could get than that. I kind of wonder, like, looking at all of the releases that they've done lately, I wonder if they will ever do the generic awakening stones. Because that's kind of the last thing that is maybe driving people to want to pull in the Hatcher. You take away that, and then they'll have to introduce a new thing. It's like when they started giving out more books. You know, people would stop pulling for duplicates for books. So yeah, maybe we won't be seeing the generic awakening stones anytime soon. See, this person says, this change incentivizes players to spend more, start spending, benefit players who have spent on the game, because having awakenings on your character and a wide variety of weapons makes it easier to enter knockdown in all three ways. I agree, but nobody wants to hear about incentivizing players. We want the game to last long, so the more players that spend, the longer the service continues. Let's see, before Season 5, only Arena was a bit pay-to-win. Now PvE mode requires more money. That's good. Again, I would be careful about saying stuff like that is good. Most people don't like to hear it. But I would say that only Arena was a bit pay-to-win. Again, I have reservations about that phrase, but I would say that Subjugations led to people spending and pulling before. They released a bunch of characters where they were very obviously good. Their character skills for Subjugations or the weapons were good. So they were designing to release stuff to encourage spending there. But yeah, Awakenings and then the variety of weapons are going to be helpful. But all this being said, you know, speaking from the global point of view, I really think that whatever the global revenue is, it's going to be so insignificant that it's not going to kind of affect, you know, the design from the developer's point of view. But I do feel like global players on a whole will be kind of at a disadvantage compared to JP players, just because they do spend less on the game. Let's see, they say the challenge for all free-to-play now is to be even more careful where to spend when you want to get high scores in Subjugations. Yeah, I'm thinking along this line. I said in a recent video that I kind of didn't know what to do with my account, with my Black Pearls, with my gems going forward. But now I feel like I have a place to focus. And also, I don't think it's realistic to aim for, you know, SSS Plus in all elements. I think our best chance is going to be using the characters that get the attack bonus for the season, but we'll see how this plays out. I think this idea of free-to-play, sort of aiming their account at a certain element of a subjugation, should only come after they've beaten everything else, kind of where my account is. So I don't think people need to worry about it too much for now. I feel like, you know, SSS 1, which is the goal that most people should aim for, is going to be doable with a free-to-play account, just kind of using whatever they got. Let's see, it is dickish to make no purple coins available at any of the SSS levels. Well, these games, they always start out very stingy, and then they get more generous with time. This is a brand new mode, so we can expect them to be stingy. Then they say I can't focus on PvE costumes as a means to upgrading my PvP weapons without having my PvP team fall off because I can't spend gems on the new PvP costumes. I would say a lot of the PvE content can be done with the Dark Memory costumes. I don't think it's as important to spend and pull in order to beat PvE. There are the Recollections of Dusk where you just need a great variety, so there it is more necessary. But we really shouldn't be thinking about Recollections of Dusk until maybe your account is a year old or a year and a half old, and then during that time, you know, kind of Tower is maybe the main content, and then during that time, you know, we'll pull random characters, we will unlock more Dark Memory stuff. And then we can start to kind of work on more sort of the higher tier stuff, like top 50 in Arena, or these new Subjugations. This update makes gem resource management less relevant and simply more pay-to-win all around. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I still think this game is pretty friendly to free-to-play users. Because, again, the rewards, just not that important. And then in response, this person says, I'd say having a level 90 subjugation weapon for PvP, then not having them maxed has a greater impact than going from level 90 to max for fine. Right, what they're saying is that having the weapon at level 90 will do more for your account than taking that level 90 weapon to level 100. Yeah, at that point it's very much a exponentially smaller gain. The difficulty spike makes me feel happy about the future of the game. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see, this person says they're getting wrecked. They say that they're going to experiment with exalting some characters this afternoon. That should help a little. I think little is the operative word here. If you go from level 90 to 100, you get about 7% more stats, which is not great, although that is worth about maybe 3 fragments worth, so it is something. But yeah, all of these little upgrades, they're going to be very small in the big picture. See, this person says, if majority of players can get the best rewards in the game by beating the highest difficulty mode, then they failed as a business. Yeah, you can't release content with like the strongest rewards and most people can beat it. You gotta aim for under 5%. If you can get top 10 in Arena with a free-to-play account, they have failed as a business. Well, there is space, at the top tiers for free-to-play users, but it takes a lot more like time investment, and then also just kind of general knowledge about how to play the game. That can make up for a lot as far as spending, so... If it's a ton of free-to-play users that are doing everything, then it's a failure, but if it's just a few, then that's okay. I always say this, but when you put money into a mobile game, you're often just buying time or speed, rather than strength. Okay, that'll do it for my reaction to this Reddit thread. I was happy to see some interesting conversation, and I was happy to not run into any spoilers. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.